The dark side of history. 7. Brutal rituals of human sacrifice in ancient civilizations. Did you know that even within the most glorious pages of history, there are terrifying shadows hidden to an unbelievable degree? Today, we will cross the veil of time and step into the world of human sacrifice rituals, not from legend, but from historical reality that once took place across numerous ancient civilizations. There are a total of 7 horrific rituals, each a testament to power, belief, and fear. As we explore them, we will also examine them through a scientific lens to understand why humans were capable of such acts and why ancient social organizations viewed them as normal. 7 savage sacrifice rituals. The sacred well of the Maya, Cenote Sagrado. In the Itza kingdom during long droughts, the Maya believed the rain god Chak was angered. To appease the deity, they selected a young girl as a sacrificial offering. She would be lavishly decorated, given a sedative, narcotic herb, and then taken to the sacred well. Drums sounded and people threw gold, silver, and jewels into the well as offerings. Archaeologists later found over 100 sets of human remains along with precious artifacts in the sacred well. Sacrifice for war victory, Hawaiian people. The ancient Hawaiians believed that offering a human life would please the god Ku, the god of war, thus ensuring victory. Victims were hung upside down, beaten, had their organs removed, and were subsequently eaten raw or cooked. Sacrifice to the sun god, Aztec people. The Aztecs believed the sun would die if not nourished, and human blood was the sacred sustenance. The sacrificial victim would walk up the temple steps, then have their chest slit, heart removed, and offered to the sun god. The remaining body was dismembered and thrown down into the temple pit. Dismemberment rituals, Shang Dynasty, China. During the Shang Dynasty, human dismemberment rituals were used in both religious and political ceremonies. The victims could be young men, children, or maidens. The bodies were chopped up and buried or hidden deep beneath the earth. Pre-death torture, Etruscan people. For the Etruscans, sacrifice was a form of torture before death. The victims, often foreigners, the sick or lower-class individuals, were brutally tormented with axes and knives right on the stone altar. Buried alive with the pharaoh, ancient Egypt. There is evidence that servants or wives of the earliest pharaohs were buried alive with his remains to continue their service in the afterlife. Egyptologist George Reisner believed Pharaoh Jer's wife might have been one such case. Offering children to the mountain gods, Inca people. The Inca offered children as sacrifices to the mountain gods, Apus, to prevent disasters like volcanoes, earthquakes, or floods. These children were specially cared for before the sacrifice, and they believed the pure souls of the children would bring peace to the community. The truth behind the rituals, scientific and psychological analysis. 1. Consolidation of power and divine assertion. One profound reason was the consolidation of power and the assertion of divine authority. In ancient societies, kings and the ruling class often claimed to be descendants of the gods. To prove their supreme power, they needed extreme rituals like human sacrifice. It was a way to affirm, I can sacrifice people to appease the gods, and therefore you must submit. 2. Crowd psychology and social control. Another dimension is crowd psychology and social control. When a crowd witnessed a public sacrifice, fear easily spread. When belief was used as a tool, the populace gradually accepted it and dared not resist. From a psychological perspective, this is a combination of collective fear and the contagious effect of pain. When one person suffers, witnesses become more sensitive to social regulations. 3. The victim's biological mechanism. Modern science can also look at these rituals to draw lessons about violence and social control. When compelled into a ritual, individuals experience various types of stress, physical pain, fear, loss of autonomy. Hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are secreted strongly. The nervous system becomes overstimulated, leading to the fight-or-flight state. But in the case of being bound with no escape, the body plunges into an extreme psychological crisis. 4. Religious belief and rationalization. A further aspect is religious belief and the mechanism of rationalization. Over time, sacrifice became a normal occurrence, a part of religious rites. When society viewed it as participation in the divine, the fear was lessened. The executioners and the witnesses felt they were not committing a crime, but merely fulfilling a sacred duty. The biggest lesson. Looking back at those horrific rituals, we see that the darkness of history is not just brutality, but also how humans maneuvered to legitimize violence. But in the light of the scientific age, we can look back with a more humanistic view, understanding why they did it, but never accepting the infliction of pain in the name of belief. Perhaps the biggest lesson lies in how we deal with power, with belief, and with the desire to control life. When people remember these rituals, not to satisfy morbid curiosity, but to engrave this truth, unchecked power can turn people into victims of their own beliefs.